Asitukunayana Sumayana Siataya. Welcome to Reigniting the Soul Spark, a podcast dedicated to supporting you as you navigate spiritual awakening and step into spiritual enlightenment. Through conversation, meditations, and light language activation, the intent is to remind you of the spark that rests within the center of your heart so that you may find the truth of what it means to be fully alive. Hi, my name is Zara. If it feels in resonance with your soul, get comfy, relax, and enjoy the ride. Sumayana Siataya. Before we begin today, I'd like to ensure that the listener is aware that much of the information I am sharing in this episode is from personal experience, customer feedback, and psychic awareness, and is in no way, shape, or form to be taken as individualized health or medical advice. In this episode, I am sharing the power of water to harmonize frequency within the cell when a person is ready. If you have a health or medical condition, it is always advised to seek proper guidance from a health or medical practitioner, preferably an awakened one. Please use and follow your inner guidance in all things. Do not take my word for truth. That would be giving your power away, and the key to this body of work is ensuring that you reclaim it. My job is to share information. It is your job to evaluate, run it through your own filters, and decide if it is for you at this stage in your life or at all. This is a critical time on planet Earth to get back in line with the One, the Source, first eternal creator of all that is. This is not an externalized being we are talking about. We are talking about you, Sutukunayanasya. Returning to your innate essence, your innate power, your innate sovereignty. There are many ways to do this effectively and also steps in the process. Today, I want to talk about a life-changing solution for individual and collective sovereignty. Restoring the frequency of your cells through the water molecule. If you haven't yet, I recommend you have a listen to the previous episode. I relay information from the nonlinear beings that I work with regarding the living waters within. In short, the living waters refer to the pulse and the beat of all existence. Whether in this dimension or another, whether in physical form or not, whether animate or inanimate, life-giving or life-taking, the living waters are the body of energy in which you reside and that you are. They are the eternal stream of consciousness that runs through all things and that is all things. In this playing field of reality, we can see the living waters as the manifest version of the energy that creates worlds. In other words, the living waters refer to the fact that we are it all. The living waters are the manifestation of God, Source, Creator, Eternal Light. We can easily see this power of who and what we are through the individuated lens of the water molecule. Water is a blessing to all life and is all life. Life does not exist without this medium. However, it is not the end-all be-all, as all mediums are just as gifted and as blessed as water. However, water in its innate essence has the ability to remind us of our own divinity. As we begin to recognize our divinity and what we are capable of as the Creator embodied in physical form, it makes even more sense to care for our physicalities in the best way possible so that we may receive information and integration within our finely tuned cellular networks. We are going through upgrades, so to speak, as living beings, and it is imperative that we take care of our waters. Yes, the eternal stream of consciousness that runs through us, that is us, and also the physical manifestation of the Holy Grail, which is your body's own genetic code. The very basic starting point for transmutation of density into light is the water molecule. Our physical form is a vast sea of energy manifest in a body of water. This body of water contains all aspects of life if given the proper ingredients and the proper care. So today, let's talk about a physical substance to assist in the ascension process. Ascension, as it's defined in my book, is just lightening of the load. You're shifting frequency, you're shifting gears. I work with a group of non-linear beings intent on restoring sovereignty to mankind. They presented information to me that minerals, light, and water are the worst nightmare for the oppressors and suppressors of this planet. They also aligned me with an earth mineral in primordial form. It resparks the engines within the cells, cleans water from unnatural contaminants, including fluoride, heavy metals, chlorine, viruses, bacteria, glyphosate, and many more, breathes life into the air that is inherently within the water molecule, increases intracellular hydration, thus promoting detoxification, has a high UV light absorption factor, and reminds the physical form of its own innate essence. Over time, while drinking water treated with these minerals, my eternal light brightened and my cellular resonance as the one amplified. I was able to tune into the grids of the earth as well as the cellular matrix in a way that I can't quite put into words. And my physical body no longer required measures such as celery juice and super strict diet to maintain equilibrium. When I tuned in with these minerals, my ability to craft energy around and within water returned, and the essence of the water molecule came alive. It was like we were made for each other. In short, we feed each other's soul spark. I've been working with it in drinking water and swimming pools since early 2020, and my colleagues have been working with it in environmental remediation situations, as well as agriculture, aquaponics, and with wastewater treatment. The most important piece of information that I can give you is that the original spark of information that lies within your cells gets a reboot as you ingest these highly mineralized and restructured waters. As you cleanse your waters, you, of course, are in control of your destiny. They can't do that job for you. All they are doing is tapping you on the shoulder with the reminder and handing you back the keys. It's up to you to drive. So here's where my journey with these primordial source minerals began. In the later months of 2019, I was staring at my yoga app, wondering why it wouldn't work, and a call came through on an old US Skype number. It was a man who knew what was to come in 2020 and beyond. He painted a very clear picture. He insisted that it was imperative to locate the best supplement and health support and would be networking all over the world to see what was available. Every day he would text me what he had found. Nothing jumped out at me until he texted through a particular mineral that was known for cleaning water from toxic contaminants, such as heavy metals, fluoride, chemicals like glyphosate, chlorine, and hexavalent chromium, as well as bacteria, viruses, and protozoan cysts. These minerals restructured water to maximize intracellular hydration so the body could naturally and consistently detoxify itself. So this was it for me. I'd found the answer that I'd been looking for my own life and health and my kids. And I had a very strong sense that there was a much bigger picture as to how these intersected with the consciousness of people and planet. So I began to work with it in my own life and body and gave it to a handful of intuitive friends. After drinking all of my water created with these minerals for 3 months, I was able to drop daily celery juice that was keeping me above the line in regards to my health. The intuitives were also having a field day with what it was bringing for them. The minerals would speak to me and share their discontent of what was occurring on the earth plane. Their essence was very disturbed to see the innate brightness of beings going unnoticed. They asked me to move a stream of energy through them in order to brighten up the days of individuals who would drink them. So I did. I had someone call me and said they had an instant heart awakening upon first drinking, and a few others say the first day of drinking their water with LifeFX filled them with uncontrollable laughter. I also had feedback of multiple spiritual awakening experiences and watched 2 people in front of me drink the water and literally land in their bodies. When I tuned into it with spirit, I understood that their higher selves integrated cleanly onto the earth plane. They had been slightly out of alignment and disconnected. I began to bottle and brand these minerals under the name LifeFX Living Water Droplets. I have since toned down the frequency in LifeFX because I don't think it is one that everyone can handle. We have to find our own way to love, truth, joy, and our own timing. There's still a touch of this energy stream running through, and it will make its way back in an increased dosage if the body and being are ready for it with your intent. I was also receiving feedback of wellness being regained, hydration levels optimized, and heavy metals being expelled, sometimes rapidly if the person had been on zeolite prior. Others reported that their kinesiologists or facilitators saw it cleaning their DNA and moving them into fifth dimensional grace quite easily. Athletes were finding it facilitating their overall performance. Some people didn't like it at all and wanted nothing to do with it. I had 2 people say they felt heartburn. When I looked into the energetics, it showed me they weren't yet ready to experience pure love. Others, especially sensitives, couldn't live without it because the charge running through their cells was nothing like they had experienced before. Others reported seeing crystalline light codes appear upon drinking. What I have found is that LifeFX meets people where they are at. If we look from a grounded scientific space, what's occurring when LifeFX is added to any fresh water is redox, coagulation, and flocculation. In other words, a specific concentration of earth minerals has the ability to naturally convert toxic contaminants to non-toxic through an electron exchange process. Then any dissolved solids will naturally clump together and settle to the bottom of the container, mostly, if not completely, inert. The resulting water is restructured in nature so that it can penetrate the cell wall for effective intracellular hydration and assist in the elimination of waste and toxic buildup. The scientist who found these minerals claimed that he was working with the deity of water, the angels, and that they were for humanity. There are a small group of us who have had the same calling to bring these minerals to the world for cleaning and enhancing drinking water, promoting agricultural growth, revolutionizing aquaculture, and as a finishing agent for recycled wastewater. Recently, one of my colleagues who has grown cannabis with the minerals for 12 years completed a third-party lab study and found an increase in yield, profitability, and plant health as cannabinoids and terpenes increased and mold growth and pesticides decreased. Another colleague who has been with these minerals for 20 years believes this is going to be an answer to individuals sustaining life when civilization as we know it ends. I personally am holding for the highest potential timeline. However, a good backup is always appreciated. A few indigenous tribes have stated they believe these minerals are the answer to their prophecy of the Great Awakening. That's how I know them as well, as an answer to humanity's slavery. I was called one day and notified that a Native American chieftain had sat with the minerals in ceremony and his tribe's ancient water songs returned to him. I was told they hadn't been sung in thousands of years. At this news, I cried for a few days because finally someone else understood the real potency of what we had. We have each come to the minerals due to specific soul contracts with humanity. Mine specifically is to assist with the rewiring of genetic sequences to complete the original code that was destined for mankind. LifeFX Living Water Droplets are a tool to assist this process. Let me be clear. Nothing is a cure-all. We each must do the work. Restoring sovereignty to the body, mind, and spirit is not something that happens overnight, and it is not a one-stop shop. There is information to assimilate, tools to engage, the mind-body complex must be mastered, and the emotional overloads brought into check. We also have to learn to let go and be at peace with the world. When it comes to clearing density from the body and lightening the load, that's where LifeFX can help. It also assists in energetically preparing you for the shift that is about to occur. It upgrades the cellular network so that you can hold more light, produce more charge within the mitochondria, and function on all cylinders, so to speak. What I'm shown is that these minerals are restoring the original source coding to life. I see that they are able to bypass some or much of the emotional and mental restraints that people have on well-being and optimize the enzymatic gateways and cell function. They return the fuel to the master switches of the body. I see that they can also assist people in the transition from 3D to 5D living if they are ready for this accelerated way of life. Manifestations can appear at a much more rapid rate due to the cellular network functioning at top speed. Manifesting is a process of engaging brain and body with the subconscious rhythms of the soul. Due to the fact that the body encompasses all, every aspect of you is present in the naturally occurring manifestation process. That includes all the subconscious fears, worries, dark desires, and so forth. I highly recommend diving into the shadows to integrate these potentially isolated pieces of self. Personally, I've experienced my intent, conscious and subconscious, manifesting quicker into physical reality. Because we are transmitting and receiving signals all day long, every day, we become powerhouses of electrical charge when we have clear signals, intent, and a potent driving force, high-quality mineralization. As a side note, though, in regards to manifestation, your soul will always manifest what it desires. So if something doesn't turn out as you had planned or hoped for, it has nothing to do with your ability to be a great manifester. It has to do with what your soul desires for you to see, to come into greater awareness of the self. Now let's look at LifeFX Living Water Droplets as a cleansing agent. Most water on this planet has been contaminated with not just pollutants, but frequency smog. It traps the cells in a network of energy that keeps the body in density, daft of its overarching abilities and the original intent. The body was built as a vessel to sustain all life. Each and every stream of consciousness that existed from the original source creator was able to materialize on the physical plane. The frequency smog that has entered into water has been purposefully placed so that mankind does not see its inherent gifts. When these inherent blessings are discovered, like the power to change the course of a species with a collective intent, there can be no more mass control. Imagine if you have a group of highly charged, awakened beings who know what they are capable of. Each one is a force on its own. Put their intent together and you have a revolution of whatever they choose. In addition to cleaning water from toxic contaminants, LifeFX operates as an intersector of the frequency fence laid out to keep mankind in servitude and chains. When I work with people in the psychic or facilitative space, I see that LifeFX helps them to reclaim a higher frequency and negate hooks and chains of lower dimensional entities. This is, of course, up to the individual to moderate their space with the other influences that they have in their life. But if I've worked with an entity removal or see hooks, Spirit always recommends bathing in LifeFX every day for a few days to a week to assist with frequency integration. The amount has been different for each person. In general, a guideline would be 20 mils per bath for an adult. A highly sensitive child may only need a few mils in the tub. You can also mix it as recommended, 1 ml LifeFX to 1 liter water, and add to a spray bottle if you don't have a bath. Spray your skin and your aura. The aura actually cleans up quite well. I would highly recommend giving some love to the water before you drink or bathe to activate your own higher self into the space. An intention that you may find helpful is, I am all of me. Bless these waters with the original intent of the first eternal source creator. Now let's get into practical applications and reported results. LifeFX is used in drinking water at a ratio of 1 ml to 1 liter. You can use it with any fresh water, including tap, filtered, reverse osmosis, alkaline, distilled, hydrogen, rain, or water straight from your creek or dam. Over the past 4 years, I've had customers use LifeFX to treat swimming pools in private and commercial settings. The minerals themselves will treat viruses and bacteria, so chlorine is not required unless, of course, there's legislation that you need to follow. The manager of a recovery center that used LifeFX in their hot and cold plunge pools and gave it to their clients to drink reported a significant increase in awakening and consciousness levels for his health-conscious but mainstream clientele. I've experienced some beautiful results with animals who are much more receptive to well-being. One day I was guided by spirit to go down to the beachfront. 5 minutes went by and a man approached with a golden retriever, pushed him to drink from the dog's water dish at the fountain I was standing near, and the dog repeatedly refused to do so. I took the prompt and asked the man if I could add a few drops of LifeFX to the water and see if his dog responded. So he agreed, and his dog drank all of the water in the dish. The most beautiful part about this was there was a Rottweiler about 15 meters away observing this exchange. The golden retriever looked at him, and they were both energetically sparkling. I could see them communicating with each other. The golden retriever saying, "You've got to try this," and the Rottweiler responding with an "I know." I went over to the owners of the Rottweiler, told them what I observed, and they said they'd love to try a sample and would shoot a video. So you couldn't have scripted a better result. I've pinned it on the LifeFX Living Water Instagram page. I had another intuitive woman tell me it saved a baby goat's life. The goat had tetanus, and the vet said it would see death before the next morning. The woman got the intuitive hit to give it LifeFX. She said the next day Rosie stood up, urinated a red color, and was fully running again within a few hours. The same woman gave LifeFX to her horses, who began to eliminate parasites. Now, LifeFX does not kill parasites. After hearing a similar story from a woman who eliminated pinworms, my assessment is that the terrain and frequency of the bodies was no longer supportive of parasitical life. Many people have told me over the years, "Oh, I don't need that. I've got the best filters," or "I drink spring water," or "I use sea salt to remineralize," or "I use a Kangen device. I'm drinking hydrogen water." I'll say the same to you as I say to them. LifeFX Living Water Droplets are an enhancement to any great water. It will remove the contaminants that filtration and other devices miss, because many of the pollutants in our water streams today can only be intercepted by reverse osmosis or the distillation process. In regards to spring water, unfortunately, by the time minerals reach us in spring water or food, they are devoid of most of the goodness and primordial power. Yes, it's a step in the right direction, but the spring water in its current form and Celtic sea salt are unable to give the primal ingredients of life. Now, let's talk briefly about pH. There is so much information out there in the world today. Some experts speaking for high pH, others suggesting it is detrimental to health. When I look into it from the psychic space, I am shown that we need to turn the conversation away from pH, away from alkalinity, and purely to frequency, so that we align with the innate intelligence of the cell and know that it's all within. However, I know inquiring minds want to know, so I did a little bit of digging and see that it is an individualized recipe. However, high alkaline diets in any way, shape, or form are going to be detrimental over time, as is a highly acidic one. The middle ground is what we want to aim for. So if someone has been highly acidic for a long period of time, a high alkaline water regime may be good news for them, but long doses can be detrimental. I'm shown that a pH of 6.7 to 6.8 is a good long-term plan for the healthy being. As always, use your internal guidance system to find what is right for you. LifeFX does have a lower pH, however, is alkalizing like lemon and brings balance into the cellular network. So pH becomes somewhat irrelevant, however, long-term, bringing the pH of your base water plus LifeFX to 6.7 to 6.8 is a nice standardized recipe, unless, of course, it is optimal for you to be following a high alkaline regime. LifeFX Living Water Droplets come from a volcanic sulfate source and are made up of approximately 80 trace minerals, but are specifically high in iron sulfate and aluminum. One of the questions I get asked a lot, as you can imagine, is why would I want to ingest aluminum? It's toxic. Yes, man-made aluminum is definitely a toxic contaminant. However, Mother Nature's aluminum is a completely different recipe. It is one of the most abundant elements in the Earth's crust, and it's present not in metallic form, but as compounds in rocks, fruits, and vegetables. The manifestation of aluminum we see in LifeFX is one that drives the body, not detracts from it. I've had multiple reports of people who were high in toxic aluminum receive all clears after a few months of drinking water treated with LifeFX. My guides have also shown me why mineralization is critical for humanity's ascent into interdimensional space. The body is an electromagnetic system running on power grids like little batteries. These batteries require the physical spark to drive their engines. These sparks are derived from minerals. Not all minerals are potent. You must look at the source. Quality, 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 and composition. Are your minerals potent enough to restructure and clean water and drive the cellular sparks? If not, you may want to rethink your choice. As always, though, I recommend an intuitive and an educated move. I also have been shown and experienced that with highly charged cells, the interstellar communication between your physical body and the beyond is amplified. Because the body is an electromagnetic storehouse of energy, the energy that is stored is transmitted at certain wavelengths. Sometimes it is unable to get off the ground. When you have a lighter atmosphere in the cell with a higher potency charge, the systems of the physical world are able to reach communication heights that otherwise they would be incapable of. It's actually an internalized and externalized process of ascension. I've had multiple psychics and intuitives mention that their abilities are heightened drinking water treated with LifeFX. This is also my experience. Because I am highly functioning in the interdimensional space, I find it beneficial for me to use an additional few mils of LifeFX in my living water throughout the day. If I'm working a lot in session space, I'll go for even more. I don't believe this is for everyone, though. My system is highly and finely attuned with it. What's clear to me from an intuitive and grounded level is that LifeFX Living Water Droplets are an answer for many. They may not be for everyone, and it may be specific timing in which they are for you. But if you get the hit that they could do you and your family good, you can learn more and order at lifefxlivingwater.com or from the affiliate or retailer that you received this link from. We have sizes that range from 50 ml to 1 liter. If you've got questions or are interested in bulk order or industrial applications, please reach out via our social media links or the website. Retailers, practitioners, and influencers, we do have wholesale and affiliate options available. There are 2 more things I'd like to say before I close up. First of all, this is a gift from God to God. It's a way to restore our inner sovereignty, externalized worlds, and see a completely different version of reality. I'd also like to say that it is our inherent birthright on this planet to have access to fresh, clean, highly charged, high-frequency, mineralized drinking and bathing waters. This was one of the original gifts of creation. Because we have been so disconnected from our true essence as the first eternal source light, we are in a state of crisis on this planet where we have polluted our natural resources so severely that we bottle and package a resource that was meant to be free, and we think nothing of it. I have spent the past 3 years wrestling with the internal confusion of capitalism, corporate wealth, and God-given rights. While at this time I have made peace with having to charge in the traditional manner for this product, I see a world in a few decades' time where restored water resources are freely returned to the people. It is going to be brilliant. And we are each a part of that change with our abilities as the creator. It's time to start intending. Asyutukunayana sumayana siataya. Thanks so much for taking the time to listen to this episode. Kumayana siataya. I wish you the most blessed and brilliant day ahead. Sianayana konasya. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that this episode has sparked the remembrance of who you truly are. If you've enjoyed this space, could you please like, follow, share, and/or subscribe? Your actions here assist me in reaching more people who could use a hand in reweaving their genetic lineage as one. I would be so incredibly thankful. I'd like to thank LifeFX Living Water for supporting me and this episode. LifeFX Living Water Droplets revitalize, restructure, remineralize, and clean any fresh water from a multitude of contaminants, including fluoride, heavy metals, chlorine, agricultural and industrial chemicals, and pathogens. They are my best friend when it comes to removing what filtration misses, intracellular hydration, and supporting the ascension process. You can learn more at lifefxlivingwater.com. If you're looking for additional support on your journey, please visit my website, zarajmalstedt.com. I love questions and comments. Please feel free to get in touch. And lastly, if you feel to contribute to the growth of this work through a donation, please see the Patreon link in the show notes attached. Kasyutukunayana sumayana siataya. May you remember who you are as the eternal essence of all that is.